Hi YouTube, welcome to or back to the channel. I hope that you guys are excited for today's video. I try to do Q&As every so often because I know we constantly have new people coming to our channel and there's just a lot going on, let's be honest, in our lives. So I thought it was about time to do another one. I have all of your questions written down and color-coded into categories. There was like almost 100 questions, so I decided to do a part 1 and a part 2. This one is going to be about Braxton and I, our relationship, why we split, me personally, and then like random questions. So it's not going to be anything about the boys. So if you don't care about me or Braxton or I guess the random stuff, then you can not watch this video, I guess. But the part 2 will be answering questions about the boys. And I thought it'd be a little bit different if I actually like had them in the Q&A. I don't know how well that's gonna work out, but we're gonna try it. So I'm actually gonna like film it in the playroom, and whether or not they like come to the camera or like run around in the back, I just thought it'd be a little bit different. So obviously most people want to know why Braxton and I split, what happened. It's a really long, complex, drawn out story, and I feel like, not that I'm not willing to share all the details, but I feel like it could be like a whole vlog about like everything that happened and kind of what split. But ultimately I think both of us kind of put our relationship on the back burner. We kind of had to, given our circumstances with 3 medically complex kids and triplets and being born so early and then being in the hospital for so long. Truly, we just didn't take care of our relationship. I think Braxton did a lot better taking care of himself than I did. I think that I kind of just got caught up in being a mom and not so much taking care of me. And I mean, to be honest, I did kind of check out from the relationship and just kind of felt like we fell out of love with each other. I don't know, it's kind of hard to really put into words like how I felt and kind of what my emotions were at that time. It wasn't necessarily one thing that led to our split, but ultimately everyone kind of asked, you know, like, was it mutual or like what happened with that? It was mostly mutual, but ultimately, I mean, we just kind of decided that we were not in a good place for our relationship to continue. Since then, we had split for however many months it's been now. It's been almost 4 months, and we're finally getting back to a place of building a friendship. And a lot of people are like, can you see yourselves getting back together? Like, what does it look like? We don't know right now. I think, you know, time will tell, and we'll just figure it out along the way. As of right now, we're just both trying to work on ourselves and having a good, healthy co-parenting relationship for the boys. I don't know, kind of like enjoying each other's company again and just doing that. So we're not back together by any means, but this is kind of funny. I'm glad that I filmed this now because everybody was asking like his routine, his schedule, where he lives, blah blah blah. He moved back in here. His cousin that he was living with was selling his house, and he didn't want to have to move his stuff there because it was really out of the way from both here and his work. So he actually decided to move back in here. We sleep in the same bed. Like, we're very, I don't know, we have a different situation than most people, so a lot of people would probably find that weird, but it's not to us. We just, I don't know, are more mature, I guess, than a lot of people our age, and we just figured out we coexist together and we make it work. So he actually moved his stuff back in last week due to the fact of not really having anywhere else stable to go. He's here and I'm here, and we just kind of like figure out a good schedule for us. Obviously I work from home, so I try and, you know, allow him to kind of make a schedule and I work around that. I always have, you know, time with my friends and stuff too, or days to myself, so it just works for us that way. How am I with sleep time, de-stressing? I'm doing well overall. I just started reading again, which I told you guys in my last vlog. I'm on book 5 in like 3 weeks, so I'm really like scooting through these books, and I am on like the Goodreads profile, so you guys can search me on there if you want. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying being able to do that. I did start back on my medication, so that's been kind of mentally draining on me just because it's hard. It's just hard to get back on meds, and it's been giving me really bad insomnia. It's kind of starting to slow, but it's also hard because we don't always have a night nurse, and now that me and Braxton are both in the same living situation again, every night that we don't have a night nurse, which is 3 nights out of the week, he sleeps in here with us, and so we don't get much sleep on those nights, either of us. So it's just, you know, people keep asking how to support us, and honestly, like, I hate this question because no matter how I answer it, somebody gets mad. If I'm like, you know, we don't need the help, or I ignore it, people just keep asking. But if I say like, here's the triplets wish list, then people are like, oh, she's asking for handouts. I'm not. We do just fine. I've told you guys multiple times, the boys have everything that they could need. There are people that just genuinely want to send them gifts or want to help. Their second birthday's coming up, so a lot of people have asked about that. I have their wish list just for general things, not even just for their second birthday, in the description box of all the videos, don't feel obligated to buy anything. Like I said, we're not asking for handouts, but people have asked for that. We also started to take money for the birthday for Ezra specifically because he needs a little bit more portable equipment. That'll just make it easier because Triplets and all their medical equipment is a lot to get out of the house. I really want, when the weather gets nice here, to take them out of the house at least once a week is my goal. So we are getting them more portable equipment. And so if you guys would like, Ezra, portable equipment. He needs a portable pull socks that's more small. It's like this big versus this big. And then his suction is like this big. So we wanted to get like a small, more portable suction so that it's just easier to get him out of the house. There's so much we have to pack and it doesn't all fit right now. So we like can't feasibly get him to where we need to go with all three of them. I'm having to get a bigger car, so that's a whole different conversation. But with that being said, I put my Venmo down below if you'd like to donate to that. We appreciate it. Again, not necessary at all, but since people have been asking, I figured I would answer your questions. Somebody asked, do the boys notice Brax being gone? Like I said, he's not really gone anymore. I mean, even before when we were living separately, he was still here all the time. So it wasn't like they noticed any difference in our routine, really. Neither of us are talking to anyone or in a new relationship or dating. I just really wanted to be alone and be by myself. And like, I have no desire to really get into a relationship at this point in my life. Like, I just wanted to work on me and like I said, find my love for myself again and take care of me first, and whatever comes out of that in the future, that's fine. Where do I see us in 5 years? That's a tough question. I hope that, the boys are all hopefully out of their medical equipment and that we are in a stable environment financially, like a house of our own. Obviously, like I said, I need a bigger car, so I plan to do that hopefully this year because I'm grinding out on YouTube right now. I'd love to maybe go back to school if the boys' health permits me to do that. I don't know what for, maybe forensics like I was originally going to do, or maybe nursing, because this has kind of made me find that spark for the medical field again. I actually was going to school for nursing originally. So somebody asked about, am I in therapy? Am I still journaling? I should be. I'm not in therapy, but it's been talked about that I would like to get back into therapy. So I will probably be doing that at some point. I'm just not in it currently. My therapy right now consists of reading, and I've been going and getting massages and pedicures and just like doing things for myself. Luckily I had some gift cards, so that was nice. I didn't even have to pay for it. But no, I don't think we'll live at home long term. I see us obviously getting a house. It's just we had talked about, or I guess myself getting a house, however it works out, that we wouldn't do that until Ezra's off the vent. I don't really know. We'll just see. I feel like we just take everything like one day at a time at this point. Somebody asked about a GoFundMe. I don't have a specific GoFundMe, but like I said, I put my stuff in the description. Have we been approached by TVs or magazines? I don't think I've ever talked about this, but we actually got approached by MTV whenever I was pregnant with the triplets, and they missed out. They really missed out because I think if they would have taken us up, we sent in like an interview, a video explaining like our situation. That was when I was pregnant. I had no idea that any of, our journey was going to be like this. I thought it would just be like, oh, I might go at like 32 weeks, but they missed out on some reality TV, especially with how crazy our family is. Like, it's insane around here, and obviously so much has happened. So will Braxton still be on the channel? Of course. He's just been super busy and doing, like I said, kind of his own thing. And obviously, if you guys have noticed, I haven't really been posting as much videos and content. Getting Ezra adjusted was our first priority, and he's adjusted very well, but obviously like that came first, and YouTube just kind of got put on the back burner for a minute. People ask, like, do I miss Braxton? We've spent 5 years of our lives together, so of course, like, I miss what our relationship used to be. Granted, I would never take my kids away for the world, but we obviously weren't planning for that, so it was just a lot to be put on us at decently young ages. I think both of us kind of miss the relationship that we had prior to the boys, but this is, the cards that we've been dealt, and we've just figured it out the best that we know how. Like, we've just done what we had to do. So like I said, I'm thankful that right now we have a good friendship, and that seems to help us both grow and kind of figure things out from there. How is my mom adjusting to him being home? Honestly, great. Like, she comes up and she's trying to learn everything with Ezra. So we went over like emergency situations. She knows how to put a trach back in, and she knows how to bag, which are the two most important things really when it comes to a trach kiddo. So she's practiced that. She knows how to plug in all the different circuit disconnects that happened. So I leave her alone for like the first time it was like 10 minutes at a time, and then it was like 20 minutes, and we've kind of stuck with that number for now. But she's doing good with learning everything. She's obviously like wants to know and wants to learn. So somebody asked, does insurance cover everything? Yes, it does definitely cover. People asked our out-of-pocket estimate for all the medical supplies for the boys. Mostly everything's covered. It's just random things that you don't think of that, you know, that triplets need that are really what get us, like diapers and wipes are astronomical, if you can imagine. We go through a big box of diapers like once a week. So yesterday I think we changed like 8 poopy diapers, and so it's like, yeah, it's just, we go through a lot of diapers. There is some like random stuff that insurance doesn't cover that Ezra and Daxton like truly need, like Daxton's belly wraps and Ezra stuff for like trait cares or just functioning in general, and so we just cover those out of pocket. I don't really honestly know even a ballpark of how much we spend on the triplets a month, but it's definitely not cheap. 5 things I'll do for me this year: YouTube, getting my career back on track and really like doing that because I want to, like I said, buy a new car. I want to make a lot of money this year, so thank you guys for supporting me and helping, you know, us to achieve that. I would like to read 50 books. I put that on my goal list for the year. I know it's technically not like a me goal, but it kind of is, that I want to get out of the house more, and whether that is with the kids or without, like taking them out, doing things, feeling more normal now that the weather's going to be nice and we can actually do stuff as a family. I really want to do that. Like, it makes me feel good about myself. I want to be healthier and try and get back into working out. I haven't worked out in a long time, since I was pregnant, like November, however many years ago. And I want to travel a little bit more. I know that like that's kind of difficult, but it's feasible, and I'm gonna do that for myself, even if it's not with the kids, like just get travel. I want to go different places. Does our family see the boys and what are their reactions? I'm not going to get too much into this just because it's kind of sticky, but the only family that has interaction with them is my mom, my stepdad, my sister when she comes back into town, but she lives in Kentucky. Sorry, my camera said no ma'am, you don't have more space on your hard drive there, or my whatever. Anyways, and then my nana sees the boys, and my best friend Kinsey, if I didn't already say that, I consider her family. That's pretty much it. So that's that. They love seeing the boys. They love being around and, I don't know, interacting with them, whatever. So yes. What do I know now that I wish I knew before bringing them home? Honestly, that it was not going to be this difficult. I thought, especially with Ezra, that our lives were going to be just honestly terrible. I know that sounds bad, but like we wouldn't have time for anything and we would just be stuck at home, and I wasn't gonna be able to vlog, and we'd get bad nurses, and I was just so stressed out. And it's honestly been a breeze with Ezra. Like, we actually say that Daxton's health issues stress us out more than Ezra by tenfold. Like, he's just adjusted so well, and it's honestly not that hard. Like, we do have bad days where, you know, accidents happen or his trach has fallen out or we have to bag him, and like those moments are stressful, but having him home with his brothers and seeing him thrive and seeing all the new things that he's done since being home makes everything worth it. Like, I don't know, the hospital really scared us into thinking that a trach was the worst thing ever. An event is so hard and we might have an accident happen, which granted they do, but just really trying to scare us and stress us out. But I also think we're like built for this. Like, I've said this and I mean it like wholeheartedly in the best way possible. Nobody could do this like we've done it. Like, nobody has any idea or can fathom the amount of stress that this family has been under and everything that we've went through. So I take pride in knowing that nobody could have done a better job than Braxton and I. Advice for families considering a trach kind of goes along with what I just said, especially if you don't have triplets or if you don't have other kids. If you do, like you have toddlers running around, yeah, it probably does get a little crazy or busy, but if your kiddo needs a trach, it's better to do it sooner rather than later. He would have been home a lot sooner, and we probably would have saved him from getting pulmonary hypertension had we just went forward with the trach. I will say the doctors were hopeful that we didn't need one, so they kept kind of pushing us in the non-trach direction. I felt from the beginning in my heart that he was going to need a trach, so I wish I would have just went with my mom intuition and been like, let's just go through with it. But it is what it is, we learned, and now he's home and everything has been good. So I would say if you think in your mom heart or dad heart that your kiddo needs a trach, just do it. Just go through with it. It's honestly not that bad. It's really not that bad. And we've learned so much, with tips and organization, and I don't know. It's not that bad. Somebody said, who are the twins? It's Daxton and Ezra. I don't know why I highlighted that with this video, but new hobbies for me, just reading, really. That's all I do now. I read all the time, but it's been so therapeutic for me. So how did I deal with things postpartum mentally? mentally, physically, weight loss or gain, hair loss, pumping. Mentally, postpartum was really hard for me because of the boys being in the NICU. Corey didn't come home for 4 months. Daxon came home at 8 months, and then Ezra came home at 19 months. Postpartum was hard. It was really, really rough on me. I was very, very unstable for a long time, and Braxton was like honestly my rock through it, but again, it was just hard on the relationship and hard on both of us. So physically, I honestly, like with the weight loss and gain, I lost a lot of weight after delivering them. I think I lost like 10 pounds the day after I delivered them, and then I kind of just slowly lost weight. I got really blessed to not like have any issue losing my pregnancy weight, which isn't a big deal. It shouldn't be that big of a deal, and it wasn't really to me. I didn't really care, but I didn't really have any issues like losing it. I did lose a lot of hair. I didn't know that I lost hair until it started growing back, and then I was like, where did all these baby hairs come from? I think, let me pull it out. Wait, I'm gonna look crazy. You can see like how short these hairs are, because compared to the rest of my hair, like, yeah, it all started growing in and I had like these little bangs. It was hilarious. Pumping sucked, but I'm glad that I did it. Would I do it again? I don't know. I would probably try and breastfeed, and if breastfeeding didn't work, I honestly don't know that I would pump again. It was just a lot mentally more than anything, and I just think people get shamed so much into having to pump or breastfeed, and while it is great for the baby and they get so much extra benefits from it, like at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter that much. Like, it is what it is. Feed your kid, and it is what it is. Some people are just like underproducers, some people struggle with pumping, and like postpartum is so hard, so I just feel like do what's best for you and your family. I'm not out here to shame anybody. How I keep up with content, I don't always, but I try. Like right now I'm filming while the kiddos are asleep. They take a 3-hour nap, so that's a good window for me to start filming. We just kind of switched to that schedule. And then my nurse doesn't care if I leave during the day, so I've been trying to go to Starbucks and edit or somewhere and sit. And I think that's going to be a lot better of a schedule for me, because when I'm here, I feel obligated to like do stuff with the kids or be very like, so, or I read, which is good, but sometimes I need to get work done. Is it harder than I thought with all 3 home? No, way easier. Do I have relief now, or am I still sad about last time? I try not to think about it, because I feel like there's a lot of trauma that I deal with that's associated with NICU and how awful that journey was, but I honestly do think I've like suppressed a lot of it. And after Ezra came home, I was like, I can't go to that place anymore, and it's too dark for me, because that was a very, very dark, ugly time in my life. Like, I was very, very depressed and mentally ill for a long time. And so I think, although it's still there, I try to just focus now on all the positives of having them home and all the things that I can do with them. I also think this age is like the best. They're having so much fun and doing so much new things, and it's just really rewarding. So I try to just focus on that. Where do I get the boys' clothes? Honestly, just like Target, Old Navy, sometimes H&M. We do Amazon quite a bit, just because sometimes that can be cheaper, but I do love like the Target 3-packs, because it's like $15 for a pack of 3 sleepers, and that's, perfect for them. Honestly, just in normal places, nowhere crazy. They are learning sign language. Somebody asked about that. We have started it with Croy, and he's been the first to pick up on it. Obviously, he's more advanced than the other 2. He came home 4 months earlier than Daxon and 15 months earlier than Ezra, so he's the one that's picking up on it right now, but we're still going to practice it with the other 2. What was our process like for setting up nursing? So the hospital actually took care of all of that for us. So they just scheduled all of our nurses for the first 2 weeks that he was home, because we're required to have nursing the 2 weeks, and then after that we kind of picked our schedule and picked who stayed. So I just worked with the nurses that I have, my 2 nurses, and kind of was like, what schedules do you guys want to work? And then we just figured out one that like worked best for us. The Fuller 5, will the name change? No, I don't. I mean, that's like honestly the least of my concerns right now. I don't go anywhere else when Brax is here. Like I said, that's kind of, different situation now. Were Brax and I split when Ezra came home? Yes, we were actually split. Best, worst part of co-parenting? The best of it, I think, honestly, it's helped our friendship, like I said, and relationship. The negative side is just, it's hard. I mean, overall, we didn't want it to look like this, and it's just an adjustment and new, and we're still trying to like kind of figure out how we're gonna do everything, but one day at a time, like I said. Is it easier or harder splitting time? We don't split time anymore, really. Some of these questions were kind of tricky. Do I have postpartum anxiety or fear of leaving the baby, and what was my advice on that? I did at first have really bad anxiety with Croy when he first came home. The other 2 like kind of got the end of the stick where I was like, I don't care, like you're good. Ezra's a little bit different. I'm obviously not going to just leave him with anyone, but I did have a lot of postpartum anxiety, and it was hard for me to leave Croy for a long time. I also was scared of anyone like doing anything with him. Like I was like, his feeding tube's going to get ripped out, or like something bad's going to happen. But therapy, small doses of letting somebody else take care of the baby, or, you know, being gone for, even if you just walk out to the mailbox for 5 minutes and walk back in, I think that's like baby steps to get you comfortable with leaving your baby with someone else. Obviously, someone you trust. And do we have any prayer requests? Just for Ezra and all the boys, of course, but Ezra especially, to just get bigger, stronger, healthier, continue making vent weans. I'll talk to you guys about that in the second Q&A video, but I just want him to continue to excel and catch up with his brothers. And then obviously for Daxon, just, I don't know, trying to figure out kind of our best next steps for him and his health journey, because it is a lot. He's got a lot going on. And I guess just mostly like his vocal cords. I want him to be able to talk and us figure out the best way to help him and support him, and just, I don't know, for me and Braxton to navigate kind of what this is going to look like for us, and for us to continue to build a healthy relationship with one another regardless of what we decide that looks like. What is my dream job? Honestly, probably forensic nursing or NICU nurse, I guess. Now that I've like dealt with that, I think that I would be like a person that would be perfect for that job. Would we ever try for a girl? Obviously, we're not together right now, so that's like a very loaded question. I would like one more kid in the future, but I would be fine even if it was a boy, because I love being a boy mom. Like it's amazing. I think that's it for this video. I know it was kind of a long one. The second one will be pertaining all to specifically the boys, trying to answer you guys' questions on that. I love you guys. Thank you for your support. I can't wait to see you in part 2, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.